We're going to get back on the Bose CD player radio that I worked on last week, where I determined after a lot of troubleshooting and substituting parts that the problem was the servo board, namely the chip. That would be the servo drive chip, and we confirmed it because it was getting hot. I'm going to take the servo board out of my broken Bose that has a broken CD player, only has a working radio. We're going to swap that board in and see if we can get a working unit out of this and make my customer happy. Let's see what happens. I went into Dollarama again to try to get some more of these lights, and they don't stock them now, or at least they're out of stock. I've tried 3 different stores and nobody has any. I thought, damn, I should have bought more when I was there. They were only $5. It's a great light. I'm looking to get more, but they don't have them. So I'll have to make do with the one that I got for testing until I can find some more and get more daylight color balance to my bench. Anyway, today we are going to revisit the Bose. If you remember, a week or so ago I did a video on troubleshooting a Bose, and we had a CD player that did not work. And I initially thought it was the drive that was bad, because I changed all the capacitors on the servo board, but it made no difference. So then I went and got my working system and I swapped the drives, and guess what? It still didn't work. So I put the drive from the unit that I suspected had a bad drive in it, I put that into my working unit, and it played. Well, not perfectly, but it played. Today I've got this other one. This is one that the drive is shot in this one. We know for sure the drive is shot because the ribbon cables are ripped. But the radio works, and the reason it looks like it's been through a war is because, well, it sits out on my patio. It's held together with tape because all the screws are snapped off due to it flying across the room. This one came to me from a neighbor that, let's put it this way, he's not married to her anymore. When he was separating from his ex, she basically told him to take his radio and shove it where the sun doesn't rise before hurling it across the room at him. I think she threw it at his head. That's what he said, but I think she was aiming a lot lower than that. It suffered irreparable damage, in my opinion. Some may disagree, but in my shop, my opinion is the only one that counts. I'll show you the irreparable damage. I think the drive is still in this one, in pieces, and I've just been using it because it was obviously given to me. He didn't want it back. When he found out that the CD player was not going to be repairable, he just said, keep it. So I've just been using this as a radio on my patio. Hey, I could have had worse choices for a patio radio, believe me, because these units sound really good. Pull the speakers out of the way. Now remember, I said the drive is bust up on this one. What I mean by the drive is bust up is, well, the ribbon cable doesn't exist. Everything else is probably okay on here. Oh, I've robbed the spindle motor to fix something else too. So this is a parts machine, but this is the board that is bad on the other one, and as you can see, the connector is missing. I was hoping it was still in here somewhere. That connector got ripped off this board. Now, I could take the connector off the other one. I guess that might be what I have to do, is take the connector off the other one and put it onto this one and see whether I can make a working system from this board. So I guess we'll get started. I'll first remove the donor board. And then I'll go get the other unit and get it apart again. The hard part, of course, is going to be removing the connector from this one so I can put it onto this one here that the connector was ripped off of. and hopefully the board's okay. Like, I don't know what shape this other board is in because I've never tested it. I've never had a working pickup to use with it, but the only way we're going to find out, we know that this one doesn't work, so the only way we're going to find out is to try to transplant that connector. And getting the connector off is probably going to be the hardest part. I'm going to use some solder wick. I was thinking maybe use hot air on it, but I don't think that might melt the plastic. I don't want to risk damaging it, so we're going to try using just a good old solder wick and try to remove as much as we can and get it off the board. I think I've got these pins lifted on this side. We'll do the same on the other side. We'll get in there with the wick and try to get the pins unbonded from the board. This will be the toughest part, getting in here without damaging the connector. This is going to be the hardest part, but I think we can manage this. Got it lifted on this side, so now it's just a matter of heating up a few pins that are holding this back. Might be able to get in if I remove the shield. It might make me give me a little more room in here if I pop the shield off. Okay, I got the old connector off. I had to kind of put the light in the way so you guys couldn't see what I was doing, but there's the old connector off. This is the old board. We're going to put it onto this board here. I'll pop the shield off of this one as well, just to make it a little easier to get in there. All my pins look intact on here. I'm going to apply some fresh solder onto this one just so that it's got a base to solder down to. Got some flux on there. I've just refluxed and retinned the board. I'll get the connector. It's going to go back on, and this connector goes on this way here like that. So let me just tack that down. Tack one side down so that I can check the alignment of the pins on the other side, make sure everything's going to line up. Okay, I'm going to solder these down. Okay, I may have it soldered in now. It's tough to see, but we'll try it. We'll plug it in. Plug the CD drive in and see whether we've made any progress. That's what we need to do. That's the only way to do this, is to try it and see if it works. So let's try it. Alright, I got it put back together, plugged in. Let's try it out and see whether it plays. This board also could be bad, and I also noticed that this one's, the display is much dimmer now on this one. I guess that there's a way to adjust the brightness on here, and I guess this one was turned down. We'll just try loading a regular audio CD. That means that the connections that I just did are good. Is it going to play? Now remember, when this board was in it that I changed all the caps on, it wouldn't play. And when I put my good drive, I hear sound. I got it playing. I hear sound. It's fixed. It was the board. And even though changing, well, they say this chip was getting red hot. I could barely touch it. The problem is going to be that chip is bad. Now I got to figure out how to make the display. Now I give the lady your unit back, and she say, I can barely see the time. You got your manual? Do you know how to change the brightness? Because this one's been obviously turned down. It's controlled by this. This is what controls the display plugs into here, right? So this is what controls the brightness of the display. But yeah, this thing's working. Excellent. I'm getting a little stoked here. I was worried that it wasn't going to work. And there it is. It works. Cool. Okay, we know it plays the stamp disc. Let's see how it plays my disc. It's going to play the CDR. It is. I'm going to let it play and see how it sounds. It sounds pretty good so far. Make sure it can play all the tracks on the disc and how quickly it will select them, because that's an indication of the health of the laser.
Hit the road with the sun setting low, chasing old memories where the wild rivers flow. Had a feeling in my gut and a weight. Sitting on the porch, watching the world go by, with a whiskey in my hand and the stars in the sky. Thoughts of you race through my mind. when the day feels heavy and the sun's too bright. Got that rundown feeling like I'm losing the fight. Sunrise breaking through the morning. I rode into town with my boots on tight, chasing dreams, but they slipped out of sight. Well, I stumbled in late as the night turned to dawn. My old lady's waiting, and she knows I'm wrong. Her eyes ablaze like a wildfire's glow. I can feel the storm coming, she's ready to blow. I tell her it's fine.
Here we go, it played the entire disc. No skipping. Well, I skipped through most of the track, but I did let it play for a while. I think this one's done. I think it's time to put this one back together and get the customer on the phone and give them the good news that their Bose will play for a little longer, and I'll just take this dead board and I'll put this back into mine and put it back outside for my radio next summer. The important thing was that it plays, and it's playing a CDR and it's playing it fine, so I will have to say that this one is fixed. I'll put the other one back together as well before I end this one, just so we can make sure that the radio still works on it. So let me go get the other one. We'll just move this one back out of the way, and I'll go grab the other one, and we'll put the radio board back into it. So here's the other one with the Fubar CD player. We'll throw this one back in here. One screw will be enough. I don't care about that shield. It's here somewhere, but I don't care. The CD player doesn't work anyway, so. Yeah, I will have one screw left over because I only put the board in with one. That's all it needs, just one screw to hold it in place. It's not going anywhere. Now I get to set some presets on this one. This one's working. See, the display is nice and bright on here. But how to change that brightness? That's a good question. I gotta figure that one out. Anyway, this is just my backyard radio. This one I gotta turn that off. This is just my backyard radio, so we're good on this one. The other one is the customer's one, and now it's good. CD player works like it's supposed to. Radio is working. I haven't tried it, but I'm sure it does. And yeah, now I need to just throw the top back on this one and I'm done. Looking at the remote control, I see a button on here that says menu. I wonder if that has something to do with it. Let's try it out. Let's hold down menu. I'm pretty sure I set this before on my other one, but menu. What happens? Set up menu. Excellent. What are we going to set up? We'll try using the tuning buttons here. Snooze. Control. Constant play. No. Time. 24 hour. 12 hour. Okay, that does that. Brightness high is set to 8. Ha 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 ha. There we go. Now it's all the way up. The next one is brightness low. And you can set that as well. That's way you can have it dimmed down in the dark. So we can turn it right down to the point where you can barely even see it. But we'll leave brightness low on like 8. And then the next one is room B, C, A, room 0. B, C, D, E, F, G. How many rooms can you have here? Don't know what that does. Reset all, no. Snooze, 10 minutes. Constant play, no. There we go. Now it's nice and bright. And to get out of that, press and hold again. And that takes you out of that display. And yeah, that's I think all we need to do. I'm going to check the radio on here to see what, stations that were programmed into mine will obviously be different than the programs that were, or the presets that were set on hers, but it doesn't matter. She could just reset her presets. I just get some random ones on here. And go back to CD and hit play. Oops, might help if I put the disc in. So there, it's fixed. Everybody's going to be happy. I'm going to be happy because I can make some money selling a part that I would never have normally been able to sell. And oh, what happened there? Maybe that was just a glitch. But I'm happy because I can make use of a part that was just sitting there in my machine, not doing anything, even though it was missing the connector. We took the connector off this one, put it onto the good board, so that gets this one back into service. I think the optical pickup. I think when I had this optical pickup in mind, we determined that the optical pickup may be a little bit weak because it did take a bit of time to seek out one track, but it seems to be okay now. And the customer will be happy because they get their little prized radio back, so they can put it back into service. And yeah, everyone's going to be happy here, and you guys are happy because you get to see this radio is actually repaired. So I'll say thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.